And is this jab going to come out? I mean, it's 100 degrees out. Am I going to sweat out the jab? Am I going to sweat out the side effects from COVID? And I know, yes, now that I have readily admit I took the jab, I know a lot of our listeners are like, man, I kind of hope he dies, right, man? Because that involves politics. And, you can have situations like with Grayson Murray a couple of weeks ago. The poor man took his life, and yet you go and you read the comments, and people are automatically like, well, he took the jab. He died because of it. It's wrong. It is. It's just absolutely wrong. Love thy neighbor, right? Regardless of their political party. Love them. Squeeze them. Hug them. Kiss them. Buy them a beer. Have a cigar. All of the following is good as far as I'm concerned. All right, a 6-week break. What are you going to do, people? No football, at least on the practice field, for the next 6 weeks. It'll fly by, trust me. I mean, look at what's going on tonight. Game 3 in the NBA. You look at Luka, who's got to take the pain injection, the shot right before the game. We'll find out if Kristaps Porzingis is able to give it a go tonight after kind of that freak ailment that he's got with his knee, right? We'll get to Game 3. The series shifts to Edmonton tomorrow night. It is the longest distance ever for a Stanley Cup final. In 2011, it was Boston and Vancouver. Now it becomes Miami and Edmonton. Panthers and the Celtics both have commanding 2-0 leads. We'll see what happens now as the series shifts to the hardwood and on ice, both to Dallas tonight and Edmonton, respectively. Tomorrow is the national championship. Oh, my goodness. What a week. The United States Open, Pinehurst, number 2, 7,548 yards. It's a par 70. And you listen to these players. Is there anything better than listening to PGA Tour and LIV players complain about golf courses? And all of the complaints right now are on these greens. Apparently, the biggest question is whether or not you can land on these greens. And apparently there's been a lot of talk about, using a 3-wood or using a hybrid, trying to punch, bump and run, if you will, and doing certain things to try to get the ball to remain on the green. And, I've kind of I've heard it described as almost a turtle shell like green, that if you don't get it up on that, and pin placements are going to be huge over the next 4 days. But if you're too far or too short or to the left or to the right, it's just going to hit the false front and go right off the turtle shell and run back down into the rough. I mean, this is so exciting to me to see what actually could take place. There's been a lot of theater at Pinehurst, number 2. We're going to break that down. JJ and I will make our picks later in the program. Also at 7:20, we will bring in the Boston Capper, who will handicap this year's United States Open. So that's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. John Osher is going to join us in 1 hour. We'll complete everything that has happened with the Jaguars. As a matter of fact, let's play the first clip today from Doug Peterson. I really like what Peterson has done during this offseason. I think it's been better command, better control. If you were to look at the disappointment of the 2023 season, there's a lot of different directions that you can go. For me, the top 2 remain injuries. And that was what he really talked about when he met with the media on Monday, right? Getting away and not getting injured. And again, you just compare the 2022 season to the 2023 season, and you look at lost starts by starters, it is just overwhelming. And that's the league. That's part of survive. That's why I still don't understand, an 18th game and getting rid of these OTAs and mini camps and then trying to put everything together with almost an extension to training camp. I think that's going to have an adverse effect. But, hey, we'll find that out when, in fact, it is announced. The second thing for me was the complete lack of communication by this football team a year ago. It was really baffling because it's their full-time job. And there's so many examples. I mean, Trevor's going to practice today, and he didn't. And then people like Doug Peterson's on. He's not lying. He just got it wrong. Okay? Something changed. Trevor wasn't ready. He didn't lie. Okay? After week 3, got to get out of here? I mean, that's, to me, to this day, it's like, what did you just say? We spent the entire year talking about hydration and humidity and playing here. The advantage of having the shade on the Jaguar sideline and the heat on Europe. And Houston came in there and kicked their ass. And Kansas City, they made mistakes, lack of communication. They got beat by the best players. Mahomes, Kelsey, putting a rookie on Chris Jones. Just lack of communication. And then we got to get out of here, right? Making too much noise on defense. Calling plays. Mike Caldwell was very, very green. It was too much for him. He didn't understand what it was like to be a leader as a coordinator. So, Doug Peterson, I think it was a real challenging year for him about, taking back and taking control of this team. And let's set aside the Press Taylor debacle. That's still a mess. But I'm convinced that Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, Trent Baalke, and Trevor Lawrence know who's going to call plays. I still don't believe that is something that Doug Peterson is going to sleep on and think about here over the next 6 weeks. I don't believe that. Okay, could it be the case? Perhaps. I just find it very difficult to believe. I think they know. They're just not telling us. It's really interesting. They've cut back on media accessibility. They won't provide a depth chart. They're not telling us who's going to call plays. I love it. I'd like to have that information. I don't need it. There's never going to be a loss for us to think of things and bring up scenarios with this team and in sports in general. There's never going to be nothing to talk about. I mean, again, look at this week. It's one of the greatest weeks of the year. But I think Doug Peterson, outside of that right there with Press Taylor, I think he's done and said a lot of really good things. I think him having Mac Jones out there working was a brilliant move. And I've talked about that, both Monday and Tuesday. He's not familiar with this team. Why not work? Why not get more practice in? How about second-year guys? I joke about how, you got to send them all home because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Today's athletes have to be coddled. Today's athletes have to be massaged. You can't keep them here for an extra 72 hours. They'll be all pissed. You want them to come back and run through a brick wall when camp opens at the Miller Electric Center in the latter part of July. You don't want them angry with the coach. So he let him go. You know who he didn't let go? Strange, Tank, Parker Washington, Anton Harrison. I get it. He's not 100%. He's an injured player, and all injured players are here. Antonio Johnson, he kept second-year guys around. I'm trying to remember if Trayvon was here last year and if Devin Lloyd was here last year. Lloyd, I would expect, because he was injured during training camp as a rookie. I honestly don't remember. If you do, you can share that info with us, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. But again, I think it's a good move. Get these. You're going to need big years out of all the guys that I just mentioned. If you don't turn things around, Antonio Johnson's going to be a starter. Anton Harrison is a starter. It seems like a show doesn't go by where I don't talk about how I think Tank Bigsby, it's all going to fall together for him in his second year. Parker Washington's really got an opportunity here. He's a guy that's not being talked about. What is he right now? Is he the fourth wide receiver? It's really, I think he's done a nice job here during camp, saying the right things, but more importantly, doing the right things with his players. Today, he was asked, the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, about the break and what he asked his players to do before they went away.
Definitely wanted to get away and relax and enjoy this last, little bit of summer before we start. But at the same time, the message is to continue to work out, continue to run, continue to review the information that we gave them this off season, so that when they come back, they come back ready. They come back in shape. They come back mentally and physically, ready to go for training camp.
The balance. And at this level, you should not have to look at your players who are professionals and say, work out. You shouldn't have to look at your players at professionals and say, don't get in trouble, right? Those days are gone. We talk about it all the time. You have to be an equal now. You're no longer on the podium. I talk about one of my late general managers all the time. He's passed here in Jacksonville a few years ago by the name of Mark Schwartz, and he was a very difficult human being to get along with. But when you walked into his office, he had like a huge podium, like a stage that was set up, and he'd have little peasant chairs for his employees to come in and sit, but he'd be on like his throne, like he was the king, like he was the master, and he would look down at you and constantly remind you in conversations that he was the boss, that he had the opportunity to fire you on the spot. He ended up firing me for a very documented reason, which I do not regret, and it will someday be in my book. But that's the way it could be with Tom Coughlin and others. You can't do that to these players now. You can't say don't go clubbing and get in trouble. You can't say work out. You got to find a way to pat them on the back, tell them you love them, and enjoy the next 6 weeks. Get away, play some golf, enjoy your family. Obviously, do whatever it takes to stay where you are and study. But I would love to be the fly on the wall, to listen to 32 head coaches deliver that message. And how is it delivered? Brian Callahan gets on with Adam Schefter, the new head coach in Tennessee, and talks about how he stole Calvin Ridley, away from Jacksonville, and it's sweeter because of that. It brings a little extra level of excitement. Well, it's Brian Callahan. Again, to this great listening audience, be honest now. How many of you out there forgot that Brian Callahan is now the coach in Tennessee? It's amazing. I mean, why would you get rid of Mike Vrabel? Whatever. But it's now, what's Brian Callahan is? What's he going to? How does he say what he wants to say to his players as a rookie compared to veteran coaches? Mike Tomlin, right, just was extended through 2027. Pete Carroll's gone. Mike Vrabel's gone. Bill Belichick is gone. A lot of guys that we're used to here in this league are no longer there. That type of stuff really does just fire me up. And everyone does it differently. The way these coaches are and their egos, they think they're the best at what they do. They learn from others. I mean, Doug Peterson's learned from many, including Andy Reid. But he's not Andy Reid. No one's Andy Reid. Andy Reid could probably say things so differently from every other coach right now in professional football. You can't be a hard ass like Josh McDaniels. You'll find yourself out of work. We saw how Gruden did it in Oakland and Tampa, and yelling and screaming and trying to have some fun on the backside. It worked to some extent, right? He won one Super Bowl. Heck, he probably should have won a second if it wasn't for the Tuck rule back when he was with the Raiders. So that part of it to me is very interesting because this game keeps changing. And I think Doug Peterson's had a good offseason. Hopefully he'll enjoy the next 6 weeks off before the Jaguars return for training camp. Much more on the Jags. John Osher coming up in just a little bit. All right, the College World Series gets underway on Friday. Coming up in 8 minutes, we're going to talk with one of the greatest to ever play at Florida State. That's Doug Menkiewicz. And I covered Menkiewicz in God's country before I came over here to Jacksonville, and a very good baseball player in his day, no doubt about it. But you look at Doug Mankiewicz, this guy won a championship in high school. He was on the same team as A-Rod. He won a World Series championship with the Boston Red Sox, breaking an 86-year slump. He won a gold medal as a United States Olympian, but he was left at the altar several years at Florida State. Florida State is going to their 24th College World Series. They have yet to win it. The latest odds look like this: to win the College World Series, if you have not followed, there's 4 from the SEC, there's 4 from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Texas A&M plus 265 to win it. Translation: you lay down $100, you get back $265 plus your 100. Okay. Tennessee, who Florida State will have in the first round, 285, right? Kentucky is plus 575. North Carolina is plus 650. Virginia is plus 800. Florida State plus 950. Florida will take on Texas A&M, the highest ranked overall seed, as we mentioned, at plus 65. Florida is plus 1,400, along with North Carolina State. So right now, the overwhelming favorites are Tennessee to get out of their bracket at 285, plus 285, and Texas A&M to get out of theirs at plus 265. We'll see what does transpire. Of course, there's a big difference. Not like it used to be, but still, being in that winner's bracket compared to being in the loser's bracket is absolutely enormous. So we'll get things kicked off, and we'll talk with Seminole great Doug Mankiewicz, who will join us right here at 6:30. All right, as always, the best opportunity for you to get involved with the program, and there's a lot happening right here on this Wednesday night, is our text line. And that number for you is 641-1010, and it's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, want to tell you about Shmunez Vision and having solid eyes. Who did I read about today? It was a coach who had cataract surgery, so he could actually now read his play sheet. I don't remember who that was, but I read about it earlier today, and it got me thinking about Shmunez Vision. Just ask yourself that question. Driving, being at a game, being on a golf course, looking at things that are far away, and then all of a sudden you need to get to your phone. You get a text, and you can't read it, or you can't read it unless you put on a pair of readers. It's 2024. It's time to step up to the plate. There is technology nowadays where it allows you to do everything the way it was when you were a baby, or when you were an infant, or you were in grade school or high school before your eyes started to get sideways on you. Remember what it was like? You could do everything with one set of eyes. It was absolutely spectacular. Well, that's just part of what they do at Shmunez Vision. We're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when it comes to laser eye surgery. And again, it's just a little part of their repertoire. Now, regardless of what it may be and it involves surgery, here's another really cool thing about it. You're going to hear from Dr. Catherine Shmunez. She'll explain it all to you. You're going to hear from Dr. Neil Shmunez. He'll explain it all to you. They're not going to send you down the hall to an office where a coordinator is going to explain to you, a coordinator who's never done surgery and will never do surgery. You don't want them telling you what you're going to do, right? You want the individual who is going to perform the surgery tell you. And that's what Dr. Neil Shmunez did to me 8.5 years ago. And he performed surgery the very next day. Check him out online. Go to Shmunez Vision, or on Instagram. You can get all the testimonials there. Go to Shmunez Vision. All right, we are jam-packed. It's great to have you with us. What a week in the world of sports. Again, the best way for you to join the program is our text line. That number is 641-1010, and it's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Coming up next, let's talk some College World Series. Florida State Seminole great Doug Mankiewicz goes into the night.
Two receivers right, one to the left. Crowd getting involved.
Stay close to the Jaguars.
Fires into the end zone.
On the home of the Jaguars.
Touchdown, Jacksonville!
1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jax Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Incella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has some state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jax Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and you know you've heard this before. Why is it so hot in this house? Well, summer's already here on the First Coast, and those soaring temperatures can do a number on our ACs. This is where the good folks at Fenwick Home Services have you covered. Fenwick offers same-day 24/7 service, and if you need a new AC because yours is on its last leg or already broken, Fenwick has next-day installation. That's right, next day, and can keep your family cool and comfortable all year long. Book online now at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com, and stay cool and comfortable all year long.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
It's your midweek mid-morning golf tune-up. Dan, Jeff, and PGA Tour insiders.
Brunch with the Tour.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Art of Natural Stone. Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Hey, it's Joe C. And when you want to enhance your outdoor space, visit my friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They have everything you need, including true flame grills. Visit their showroom or schedule a free home estimate at cssoutdoor.com.
Raise the stakes on excitement at Best Bet, your go-to spot for unbeatable entertainment and unmatched hospitality. With locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the brand new Best Bet St. Augustine. No poker expertise? No problem. From high-stakes poker to casual games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and Fortune Pie Gow, there's a game for everyone. Hungry for more? We're serving up delicious bites and craft cocktails, and we're open late. For details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet, your go-to spot for a thrilling night.
Make this Father's Day unforgettable by treating Dad to the thrill of international soccer this summer. Get 25% off a Stateside Cup Family 4-pack through June 16th. Use code FDS24. Tickets will go fast. Don't miss this chance to take your loved one to see Premier League clubs Wolves versus West Ham United take the pitch right here in Jacksonville. Get details and your tickets at StatesideCup.com. StatesideCup.com.
This is what smart jewelry buyers have been waiting all year for at Beard's Diamonds. 0% financing for 5 years, 0 down on everything in the store.
At the St. John's Town Center or BeardsDiamonds.com.
Don't buy anywhere until you shop Beard's Diamonds.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball presented by FIS is home all week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is ViStar Good as Everywhere Wednesday, featuring Catholic charities, plus bring your dog courtesy of Forever Vets. Tomorrow is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday and Pride Night. Then it's Red Shirt Friday with fireworks, and the first 2,000 fans on Saturday get a Red Caps hat, plus more fireworks. Baseball all weekend. JackShrimp.com for tickets.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, having a little bit of trouble getting Doug Mankiewicz lined up. I think he's got maybe some numbers that are blocked because of spam and all of that good stuff. But we will hopefully get him here in just one moment. Florida State and Tennessee, obviously they'll play tomorrow. This Tennessee team is absolutely loaded. They're number one in America when it comes to runs scored, which to me is always the most important statistic, right? That's why you play the game, to score runs. I know we talk about WAR and OPS and everything along those lines, but, on-base percentage and scoring runs to me has always been number one and number two. On top of that, Tennessee, 171. It was actually 173 home runs this year. Far and away number one in all of college baseball. So that'll be the second game that'll take place on Friday. Number 1 seed Tennessee against number 8 seed Florida State. Tennessee is a favorite right now, minus 190 to win this opening game. Translation there, lay $190. Or you lay $100, you win back $190 if, in fact, you're going to play the favorite in Tennessee. The Atlantic Coast Conference well represented in the World Series, as well as certainly this bracket, 3 of the 4 teams. Earlier that day, it'll be Virginia, a 12 seed, taking on a 4 seed, North Carolina, UNC, minus 150 in that matchup. Of course, they have faced one another this year during the regular season. Coming up on Saturday, we'll have it for you. Right here on these airwaves at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Florida, not ranked, okay? They will take on a 3 seed in Texas A&M, and A&M a large favorite, 2-1, all right? You lay down $200 for Texas A&M, and you would get only $100 at minus 200. So that is Texas A&M in Florida. Also, North Carolina State and Kentucky, UK, minus 155. I may have said that wrong with Tennessee at minus 190. Obviously, you got to lay the $190 down in order to win back 100. And so 2 big favorites there. And again, we gave you the odds a little bit earlier. That is the overwhelming, really look at who the experts do, in fact, believe are going to win or at least play for the national championship. Tennessee coming out of that bracket and Texas A&M coming out of the other bracket. All right, couple of things here before we do hook up with Doug Mankiewicz. Certainly want to just spend a minute on the passing of Jerry West at the age of 86. And, obviously I never got an opportunity to watch Jerry West play, but the issue for him is he went up against all those fantastic Celtic teams, right? He had to take on Bob Cousy and Bill Russell and both Joneses. Sam Jones died here recently. He ended up calling Jacksonville his home, and you'd always see him on 210 playing Cimarron and playing all the golf courses there. But he was obviously the man that developed the NBA logo around, and continued to be that representation or the man behind that for really decades. But he did pass earlier this morning at the age of 86. He had most recently been with the Los Angeles Clippers. But you're talking about a 12-time All-NBA selection, an NBA Finals MVP as well, and the all-time leading scorer in the history of the NBA Finals, which is really crazy considering the way that the playoffs have expanded over the years. And I just never would have guessed that when it came to Jerry West. All right, what is the latest here? Are we having trouble getting them? Let's see. It's his cell service. Oh, his cell service is down. All right. I'd like to say that's the way it used to be for me when I was trying to get a date. But
so he's able to text. He's texting me, but his bar situation is.
He's out at the Keys.
Great.
He's out. He's out at one of the.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where he lives. That's where he does.
I asked if he had a phone line, like a landline available, and I got a no. Like, what year is this?
Yeah.
But we're efforting. Hopefully later in the show.
He's sending me a map now of everything from West Palm Beach all the way through. Is it? I don't know what particular. He's on a Key West. I don't know what particular key he is actually in, but he's been there forever. Of course, he is from South Florida, so hopefully we'll be able to bring him on. Really looking forward to talking with Doug Mankiewicz, who, for what it's worth, I mean, that team was so good in '95 when he was selected. I was reading about that a little bit earlier today, and let me see if I can find it for you. They were trailing Oklahoma 2-1. J.D. Drew tied it at 2 apiece. You just look at that stretch of years. Of course, '96, they were up 2-1 against the Gators, and that's when Brad Wilkerson hit the grand slam to beat him in '96. In '94, it was the number one pick overall, and Paul Wilson, and Jonathan Johnson, who also went in the first round, but they ended up getting beat by Georgia Tech, that team that had Nomar Garcia-Parra and Jay Payton and Jason Varitek. What was the year that Tim Hudson beat them? I'm trying to remember that particular season, but it just seemed like every year Florida State had an incredibly talented baseball team. They just found ways to lose games, and it's amazing that they've been to 23 of them, and they've yet to win it, and they really aren't expected to win this year. Again, you look at the rankings, they're out of the 8 teams who remain, they're number 6 as far as the 8. So, yeah, the chances of that happening are slim, according to the experts. All right, let's see if we can bring him in. Doug Mankiewicz right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
All right, here he is. Let me guess. What, are you out in a boat somewhere in the Keys?
I wish. You don't want to be in the water on this weather.
Yeah.
We've been having some major cell issues today. So for some reason,
we haven't had rain here in Jacksonville in like a month. Not even a drop. I've never seen anything like it. You know what it's like. You've been here forever in our state, but it seems like every day it rains at 4:30. We haven't had anything. Will you send some of that this way?
We've got 5 days of it coming, so we can have all that you want.
Doug Mankiewicz, the former Florida State Seminole, goes into the night with Rick Ballou. How you been?
Just living the dream. Trying to finishing my degree online. I want to coach college baseball, so I'm I got another year left, and once I'm done with that, I'll be hopefully battling Link at some point.
Yeah. Well, and I know your love is there. We talked about it after Mike Martin Jr. was let go. Link got the job. Of course, you played with Link Jarrett. Are you surprised at how he was able to turn this around in just 1 year?
No. And I don't mean this disrespectfully to anybody. I was actually shocked at the first year. I just know how good he is and how he can get players to understand fundamentals. I know, look, I understand it's not a 1 year. Like, you can't do it all in 1 year, especially in the ACC against the talent that we have to play. But that just shows how much I think of Link as an instructor, as a coach, as a mentor, as someone that you want leading your university. I'll give you cliff notes. I know I talked to Mike Alford before Link was hired extensively, and he asked certain questions, and I know I said, well, I think I was trying to keep my name in the hat as best I could, knowing that I didn't have a degree, but I told him this. I said, if I had a choice to send my son to me or Link, I'd send my kid to Link every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And that's just how much I think of Link.
What separates him? What type of manager is he? And did you see it as a teammate? I know it's rough to look at guys when you're competing. Obviously, you went to Major League Baseball and played 12 years, and that was the goal of Link Jarrett. Didn't work out. But did you sense then that after his baseball playing days, he'd be a great manager?
I think Link would have been successful in whatever he did. He always, even as a player, even going to dinner, or you have conversations, you could tell he's cerebral. But he thinks before he speaks. He's got a plan for everything. We use a line all the time that, winners win. And that's just who he is. And there's more to it than coaching the game. There's it takes a family. It takes Jen being there with him is huge. Understanding that any job you take, it's very time consuming because the second you take a break, you're getting left behind. Whether all be recruiting, NIL, administration, facilities. So it's a 24/7, 365 day job. And you know that when you sign up for it, but knowing it's a little bit different here. It's just because everybody knows the story. Grew up across the street, jumping the fence to take ground balls. He knows the gravity of what this university's gone through in a baseball sense, and he understands it. I don't think you can get that from anybody else who hasn't wore that uniform. I generally don't think you need to wear a particular uniform to have that passion. It just adds to it. Link's relentless, and he feels our passion of ex-players that played with him and around him, and what this means to us. And what I've always said this: I've done a lot of really nice things in my career and in my life. I'd give a lot of it back to win 11 a ring.
Wow.
And I think we all feel that way, and we all feel that way about our university. And we're tired of hearing about how many times we've been there and come up short.
Comments from Doug Mankiewicz, of course, talking about number 11, his manager and Link Jarrett's manager. Mike Martin did pass this past year. Florida State going to the College World Series for a 24th time. That's impressive, Doug. I mean, you won it all in high school. You won an Olympic gold medal. I'm from Boston. They went 86 years without winning a World Series, and you caught the final out on that bouncing ball back to Keith Falk. But you're willing to give up a lot of that. You would have, and you guys came close because I was there in town, covered you, and did some of those games of the late Lee Bowen, but that's really interesting to hear you say it that way.
It's the only thing, it's the only thing that's escaped me. And, that's part of the reason why for me, going back to school, I want to get back into coaching, and I think the college level is where it's at. But that being said, I just know how much that place Tallahassee and Florida State means to me personally. The pride I felt putting that uniform on. I was a long shot to even go there, and to get a chance to start from day one, and to really feel like 95 was our shot, and to come up short. It takes so much to go right.
Yeah.
When you're there, it doesn't matter. You can have the best team, but I really felt like, no disrespect to Cal State Fullerton or anybody else that was there, every team is talented to get there. But you look back at the draft picks we had at the top of the rotation, the Paul Wilsons, the Jonathan Johnsons, the list goes on. And to think that we couldn't get it done, it's like, in no way stretches is a failure, but you almost feel that way because, it's like, when I'll never always going back and seeing 11, and no matter how long it's been, you go up to him and you hug him and you almost put your head in his chest because you're looking down because you feel like you let him down. And I think that's how I think I speak for all of us, and that's how we feel.
Really, really well said. Doug Mankiewicz, former Florida State Seminole, joining us right here on 92.5 FM with Rick Ballou. All right, what do you like about this team? They're an exciting ball club to watch. What stands out about the 2024 Florida State Seminoles?
Passion. You can tell those guys love to compete with each other, and I'm sure I'm missing some teams, but it's been a while since you've felt like this group gets it. Like this group understands what it means to wear that uniform. This group understands the history. This group understands the shortcomings. It understands, and they want to be a part of it. And you watch them play, and they're intense, and they're prepared, and they have fun doing it. You can just tell they love to compete, and that's just something that it starts with Link. I mean, you can just tell that when your leader is relentless in preparation, everyone else follows, and you can totally feel that. I mean, yeah, every team has a flaw. Every team has something they wish they had better, but it's been a while since we can honestly say we can beat anybody in the country, and that's not far-fetched. Are we going to need breaks? Yes, but this team understands what it's like to compete and what it's like to be a family.
I've seen guys over there just have incredible years, but really fall into a groove. I mean, yourself, J.D. Drew, Chris Roberts certainly comes to mind. Not pitching the James Tibbs in the regional and then to see what he did in the super regional, including that closeout against UConn when he had 3 two-run bombs. Give us a feeling of what it's like to be in that moment where every at-bat you feel like you're going to make a difference.
Yeah, it's the best ever. And I went up and stayed with Chip Baker this past weekend. My son, my girlfriend, we went up there and we stayed with Chip, and he came up, and watching him in the regional, it just seemed like he was one pitch ahead or one pitch behind of what they were trying to do to him. And you get frustrated because you know they're going to take the bat out of your hands, and you can't do anything about it. And I looked at him. James took his first swing and hit the ball into the third base dugout. That was the first game against UConn. I looked at Chip and I was like, uh-oh, he's still confused. And then 2 pitches later, he flew out to left center, almost to the wall, almost hit it out. And we both looked at each other like, never mind, he's good. And that just shows his growth, his maturity, to understand his swing. But when you get in that groove, it's just everything slows down. I love the fact that I heard that he walked by Link in the 12th inning and said, if it gets to us, it's over. And I love that mentality. When your great players have that tenacity to be able to understand the moment, stay within yourself, and to perform. Link said some amazing things about this young man, about how he could function in a major league lineup right now. And you hear that, and you know who it's coming from, and you're like, wow. And you start to pay attention to it, and you're just like, yeah, I can totally agree with that. And it's they don't come around very often, but to see his growth, and more than anything else in this day and age, he stayed. He stayed. He stayed where he started, and that speaks volumes about who he is.
Doug, is that common? I mean, did Manny Ramirez or David Ortiz, did anyone say anything like that back in the day?
David would. David would. It's more of a look than anything else. You have moments of it. Not many people can do it countless times, but David was one of those guys that you could just see it in his eyes. And, whether it be a take of a certain pitch or a look that he has in his face that you're just like, you almost think back and like, oh boy, the other guy's in trouble. Because he's locked in and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's kind of how you feel. You kind of feel like, you know what, everything slows down. You don't chase. People think, your swing gets on and off. It's not so much your swing, but you don't really guess hitting. But when you're in sync with what they're trying to do to you, pitch speed, pitch selection, location, it's the greatest thing in the world. And you can kind of anticipate where they're coming. And I guarantee you, he was, he hit balls middle away, he hit balls middle in, and it was just fun to watch.
Final moment with Doug Mankiewicz, former Florida State Seminole, always a Florida State Seminole, All-American, and, of course, an Olympian, gold medalist, and won a World Series with the Boston Red Sox. All right, Jamie Arnold Friday, be Carson Dorsey, the left-hander, in Game 2. Florida State, you know what it's like. Once you get there, you need pitching. Does Florida State have enough?
Yes. The hardest thing I think that I thought listening to Link's presser today, Link thinks of everything. He's a genius. The biggest difference I felt like for me was sophomore year we went out there and we were just so excited to be there, and you still had games to play. Our junior year we went out there a second time was like the job's not finished. Like, this is a business trip. And I think Link, knowing just recently being there with Notre Dame, is going to prepare these guys to where they get through all the knick-knack stuff of tickets and this request and all the other stuff. That being said, Omaha's a different dynamic because you play Friday, you don't play till Sunday, and if you win Sunday, you don't play till Wednesday. So it's a little bit different dynamic of how they're used to doing things where they have to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Tuesday. So meaning you can kind of empty the gun on Friday. You guys have an off day in between, so you can kind of empty the gun as far as bullpen and having guys throw more than maybe they should. You don't have to worry about tomorrow just yet. And the biggest key to me is winning the first two games. You win the first two games. We always said even back then, even with a 6-team regional, it was harder to get to Omaha than necessarily it was to win it as far as pitching goes. The depth was challenged to get there. If you win the first two games, you can go 1-2, 1-2. Now you got a 2 out of 3, but you can still get there and win it with 2, maybe 3 guys, and that's kind of how that second game is key. And obviously not looking ahead, but we have a tough matchup. But I'll take Jamie Arnold on the mound against anybody, and like our chances.
Doug, outstanding. Really appreciate it. And I can tell by listening to you the year. I texted you right after 11 passed and just all your emotions. But if somehow they could put this together and win it, even though you're not playing, this is still about as close to your heart as could possibly be.
Yep. I had a pretty good moment with Link after he won. And he reached out to shake my hand. I was like, no, we don't shake hands. And I just grabbed him and hugged him as hard as I could because I know how hard this job is. And I know what he wants this to be, and I think this means a lot to Link, and we want that's why we're supporting him so much because we know he's not going to stop until he puts that trophy in that case.
Yeah. All right, Doug. Hey, great to catch up with you. And I say this all the time. You probably don't remember, but when you guys won the World Series in 2004, I was doing overnights in Chicago. And you grabbed the cell phone and came on with me for 3 to 5 minutes right after winning the World Series with all the hugs and all the cocktails you could have had. But you gave me 5 minutes. I always appreciate that.
Always. I'll always give you 5 minutes, man, especially when the cocktails didn't stop right after the game. They went on for about 10 or 12 days. So
yeah, no doubt.
The 5-minute break was probably good for my health.
Doug Mankiewicz, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Doug, always a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Garrett. Thanks, Rick.
There he goes. Doug Mankiewicz, one of the greats. He won it all in high school with A-Rod. He won an Olympic medal, a gold medal. USA. USA. None of this, you got the jab, you didn't get the jab. No, it was USA. Bouncing ball to Keith Folk. Folk throws over. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it for 86 years. And Mankiewicz hung on to the baseball for a while.
Smart. Collector's
He ended
item.
up giving it back, but good. So he was with the Colonel as well and went and visited his third base coach at the time, the great Chip Baker, who I'm a big fan of as well. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Game 1 for Florida State coming up Friday night against Tennessee as they try to win the World Series in their 24th trip. Reaction to that, 641-1010 on our text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Gators. Subscribe to the 1010XL Gators YouTube channel. Up-to-the-minute updates, instant reaction from Gainesville, plus the same 1010XL Gators podcast you've grown to know. And check out 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
How nice would it be not to worry about your AC unit for 10 years? What? Vaughn's Heating and Air, standing by their units for 10 years. Imagine not having to think about your AC unit for a decade. Vaughn's 10-year warranty covers the parts, labor, and refrigerant. Basically everything. No fictional problems that will cost thousands. This is legit. An AC unit with no repair costs. Wouldn't that be nice? So remember, if your AC unit won't turn on, just call Vaughn's. That's Vaughn's Heating and Air.
A no-risk, all-rewards path to real weight loss. If you're not happy with your Awaken 180 results in the first week, get 100% of your money back. No risk, but every reward. With the solution for weight loss, Awaken180weightloss.com.
Imagine the majestic cut of beef that commands attention the moment it arrives at your table. At Southern Steer, now through Father's Day, get your tomahawk steaks for $24.99 a pound.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 12, 1991, in the NBA Finals, the Chicago Bulls beat the LA Lakers in Game 5 for their first of 3 straight titles.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home all week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is ViStar Good is Everywhere Wednesday, featuring Catholic charities, plus bring your dog courtesy of Forever Vets. Tomorrow is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday and Pride Night. Then it's Red Shirt Friday with fireworks, and the first 2,000 fans on Saturday get a Red Caps hat, plus more fireworks. Baseball all weekend. JackShrimp.com for tickets.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sports book. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
This is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being a godly example. Every day, we're setting an example in our words and actions. And many times, we can act one way in one setting and then totally different in another setting. My encouragement for you is to not send out mixed messages. God is depending on you to set the example in people's lives. You don't know, but you may be the only Bible that someone ever sees today.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
This is Hayes Carlion for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida, and don't let the state decide your fate.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
All right, thank you to Doug Mankiewicz. Getting ready for the College World Series. It's a phenomenal week in sports. Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final tomorrow night. Oh, yeah. And beginning tomorrow, your national championship in golf, the United States Open. How about that? We, right now, say goodbye for the next 6 weeks, at least on the field at the Miller Electric Center, to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's bring in the senior writer from Jaguars.com. He is John Osher. John, good to have you with us. Hopefully you're going to get a little bit of downtime in the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. To show you my age, Rick, I actually covered Doug Mankiewicz in a high school all-star game in his senior year. He was from down south, I think, like Orlando-ish.
Fort Lauderdale, and played in the same team as Alex Rodriguez.
Okay, yeah. I knew he was out of our area, obviously, and I remember his high school coach, who I happened to be sitting next to, was friends with Jack Spencer, who used to coach at Englewood. Some listeners probably remember Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was putting together the all-state team, and so I had put Doug on it. Obviously, he was well in that. I remember the coach saying, "This guy, he's not going to have the career of Rodriguez, but he said this guy's going to be a long time, solid professional baseball player." And in that sport, they can usually tell, and that's my only Mankiewicz memory. And didn't he catch one of your big moments?
Oh, yeah. We just talked about it.
Final ball?
He did.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that about him. So, yeah, that's when you cover high schools in Florida, Rick, you brush with greatness. I actually was after a state championship game, I remember sitting and interviewing Alex Rodriguez in a small group, and he was sitting, remember the old school desk, the wooden school desk?
Yeah.
A-Rod was sitting in a wooden school desk, interviewing about Miami Westminster winning. And now he was a guy everybody knew even then that he was destined. So anyway, that's about high school baseball.
Yeah, Mankiewicz, they were so great back then, 11 and Bowden. They would allow the guys to come in right and sit in the studio with me and just do radio. And I remember we were talking to him about J.D. Drew and Paul Wilson and all these great songs. And I'm like, who's the best? He's like, bro, wait till you see this Alex Rodriguez guy. And they were high school teammates. I mean, can you imagine how talented that team? Must have been, but yeah,
Well,
Minkiewicz is
and
one of
playing single A.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's what he was doing at the time, and Minkiewicz is only one of 5 guys to win a gold medal and a World Series, and then on top of that, he won, as you pointed out, they won it all in high school, but he didn't get it done with the boys in Omaha. As great as they were, especially that '95 team, they never won a World Series in college.
Yeah, well, maybe this is their year, 30 years later.
Hey, just a couple of quick things. I thought it was a really good move to keep Mac Jones here. And my understanding is that, if something does happen and Trevor misses a game or whatever, they feel they can win games with Mac Jones. And for him to get more reps and be the only quarterback there, just interested in your thoughts on that.
Well, absolutely. Everything lines up. I agree with what you're saying. And, there's only so many years realistically where any NFL team has a shot to have what you would think of as a really frontline backup. Because usually if you're a frontline backup, I expect Mac to be playing somewhere else in 2025, right? I would think he'll get a shot in a rotation, probably not want to stay and sit behind Trevor Lawrence. So over time, as an NFL team, it's hard to find a really, really good backup. And the Jaguars look like they have a guy who, sure, you can win with Mac Jones. I mean, the Patriots did it at one point, and I think the interesting thing about Mac, and Bucky Brooks and I were talking about this afternoon, when you don't work out in a place, as whatever happened in New England didn't work out for him, and then all of a sudden you go and you're a backup somewhere. I've been around that situation where the guy might come in and fake it and say the right thing, but you can tell he's bitter and is just sort of not liking stuff right now. A credit to Mac Jones, and people who are listening to this, there's some people who probably know Mac Jones who are saying, well, John, that's just who he is. Well, he's showing who he is, because he's clearly has no attitude. And I guess not the Jaguars where it didn't work out, but it's a long time he went through up there, coming in with a great attitude, doing, saying, acting right. So far, what a pleasant kid to watch.
Yeah.
And, I think he's going to be able to play and all that. But maybe that's something that fans listening to this don't quite know, that a lot of times when it doesn't work out for a quarterback, they go, and it takes them a while to recover emotionally and mentally. It's been neat to watch that this offseason. I didn't know the kid. I covered high school a long time. I never knew him at Bowles, obviously. But what a likable young man.
It's going to be interesting when this roster comes together, because are they going to keep CJ? Are they going to keep a third quarterback? I mean, there's talk maybe a 7th wide receiver, or maybe an extra interior defensive lineman, or an extra corner. They appear to have depth at both those positions all of a sudden. I'm sure if we rewound the tape, almost every year I say, well, this looks like a deeper team. It looks like a better 90 than the year prior, but kind of feels that way.
Yeah, and I think it takes a while for, as successful as they were in 22, I don't think Balky or Doug would have told you, hey, this is a mature roster, meaning we've had time to get some of our guys, develop them, identify what we all want, right? Like that takes some time. So I think now you're looking at, as much as the draft class last year was kind of ripped by people, some of those guys now look minimum like good depth. Looks like they're going to compete. It looks like Ventrell Miller and Cooper Hodges are 2 guys that I think look like guys who you like as depth, right? Or to push for more. So now these guys have been together and bringing guys in for 3 off seasons. On sort of a wrinkle of that is what Press Taylor talked about this week. Now, when these guys go look at film, meaning when he's sitting down with Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram and Trevor, and they're putting on tape, they're not putting on tape of the Philly offense, like Press said. They're putting on tape of themselves the last 2 years. So I've got to think that just the learning curve, the pace of things, that, it takes time to build what you want to build. And I think that speaks to what you're saying. I think it's a little deeper, a little more experienced altogether. They speak the same language more than they did a couple years ago. So it's a more mature part of the building process. Doesn't mean you win, but I think it gives you more of a chance and increases your percentages.
Jaguars will break for 6 weeks. Then training camp will get underway over at the Miller Electric Center. John Osher, our guest. Of course, you can read everything from John and his staff. Just go to Jaguars.com. You mentioned some second-year guys who were injured a year ago. Anton Harrison is here battling through his injury. But, Tank, Brenton Strange, Antonio Johnson, Parker Washington. I like the fact that those second-year guys stood out. We always give the obligatory, they're in shorts, and you can't really tell. But, it was all four of them showed something out there that, every one of those guys really has an opportunity to seriously be a part of this thing this year, especially Antonio Johnson, who could be a starter.
Well, a couple of thoughts. No matter how often you remind yourself, no matter how often you remind fans and observers, you forget how hard it is as a rookie. You just can't come in and be at your peak. You don't know what you're doing. You're not physically as mature as the guys you're against. And I do think this is always a factor. You're tired, meaning, you've been playing since last September, going 100% all the time. It's just hard for these guys to come in and look the part when they're rookies. This year, all four guys, like you said, Parker Washington, who I admit, after last season, I was kind of like, well, we'll see. So much quicker, so much more confident. And, it all adds up. If you think about it's such a game of inches, just being a half a step quicker coming out of a break in this league means you're wide open as compared to covered, right? So if you're a half a step quicker, a half a step more aware, if you're Parker Washington or Brenton Strange or Tank Bigsby, how much better are you? So I'm with you. I don't judge guys until the pads go on, but all you can do right now is see how these guys look. And in camp this week, I think you saw it, Rick, all four of those guys looked far ahead of the other guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
So what more can you judge on this week? We're being asked to judge this week. Those guys look ready. Yeah. And you'd rather be saying that than not. So I guess that's my thought on OTAs. You'd always rather have a guy look the part, at least that, if they don't look it now, they're probably not going to look in the fall. So they look it now.
All right, John, in case you're on an island somewhere with your wife, do you have the contract extension written on Trevor Lawrence? You just need to fill in the figures?
Well, I don't get too much into figures on the team website. It's just sort of, I either just say, hey, it's this length of contract. The figures are out there on something like this. I've got a couple of X's, and the X's are what day. But,
okay.
Yeah, it's pre-written, which I want to clarify for people. I do that on a lot of stories. I don't know if Trevor gets done, but there's a few that I'm usually ready on, and Trevor Lawrence is one of those. He's worth the effort, Rick.
No doubt. Absolutely. John, enjoy the summer. I know we'll catch up. Hey, blink twice, and training camp will be here. Enjoy the off season, and thanks as always.
You as well, Rick. Thanks for everything, buddy.
There he goes. John Osher, senior writer, Jaguars.com. So, very latest there. Right? Pretty Ricky. No one's ever referred to me as Pretty Ricky, right? But Pretty Ricky on Twitter saying Shad Khan's in town. We saw him yesterday at the Miller Electric Center, and a big contract is coming. So, we shall see. And we've all been talking about it. Is it going to happen? I think it will before training camp begins in 6 weeks. All right. 641-1010. College World Series. The Jaguars. 641-1010 is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That is our text line. Coming up next, let's talk about the national championship in golf. The United States Open. The Boston Capper is here. I mean, yeah, I would think he's freaking out because we're about an an hour and some change away from Game 3 of the NBA Finals, but he's going to handicap this year's United States Open for us. Of course, it's Scotty Scheffler and everyone else, but let's hear from him. And then JJ and I, we will make our picks as we do for the 4 majors and the players. So all of that coming up right here on your home of the Jags.
When something happens in Jacksonville, you'll know, because 1010XL is Jacksonville. We live here, we work here, we play here. This is home. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
It's the coolest week to save during the summer fan sale at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Buy 1 fan, save 10%. Buy 2, save 15%. Buy 3 or more and save 20% off all fans at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Showroom near the Avenues.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Are you tired of living with constant pain from torn ligaments or nagging tendinitis and bothersome joint pain? Say goodbye to endless medications and invasive surgeries. Go BioTarget Regenerative Treatment is available only at injury care centers. Their innovative approach helps you recover faster and get back to doing what you love without drugs or surgery. Don't just treat the symptoms, target the root cause with BioTarget. Visit GoBioTarget.com to learn more and schedule your appointment today.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just 1 visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just 1 visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
Still looking for the perfect Father's Day gift? Check out Macy's Gift Finder. It's easy. In just a couple clicks, you'll find personalized gift ideas from top brands that are perfect for every dad, like the Adventure Seeker, the Sports Fan, or even the Grandpa. Plus, Macy's has great gifts for every budget, so you can go as big or small as you want. Find the Father's Day gift that says, I love your style on Macy's.com/giftfinder, and give love today at Macy's.
1010 State in Sports History is Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 12, 1991, in the NBA Finals, the Chicago Bulls beat the LA Lakers in Game 5 for their first of 3 straight titles.
Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
right, making a big deal about these second-year players because it was a terrible rookie season, right? Anton Harrison was spectacular, but it didn't work out for Brenton Strange. It didn't work out for Tank Bigsby. You had the injuries to Cooper Hodges and Ventrell Miller. Tyler Lacey, no. Antonio Johnson came on late. Parker Washington was needed because of injuries, but it was very adequate as far as this season. I have said all along that I think that Tank Bigsby is really going to take over in year 2. You watch Antonio Johnson, it's been spectacular so far as well, granted without pads. But before we bring in the Boston Capper, I just want to wrap up my thought on this and also bring in the head coach and what Doug Peterson had to say today as far as his decision to bring back these second-year guys and practice them this week.
Well, Anton, a lot of the vets that are here, in Anton's case, the injury. Okay, so I can't. They're not medically cleared to leave yet. So, until they get medically cleared, that's why those guys are here. Guys like Devon Hamilton and Anton and Darnell Savage, Gabe. All those guys are still here this week. Roy's here. So, otherwise they would have been, the guys probably on the on the surfboards right now. But yeah. So and then two second-year players who maybe didn't play a lot. Last year and coming into their own a little bit. So just want to give another 3 days of just development and growth.
And it was a smart move, and they stood out. You just heard our conversation with John Osher. Absolutely. Parker Washington, Tank Bigsby, Brenton Strange, Antonio Johnson, Cooper Hodges, Ventrell Miller. Solid work these last 3 days.
Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
All right, the national championship. Pinehurst, number 2, getting set for it first thing in the morning. Let's bring in our good buddy. He is the Boston Capper. I would think that you're on pins and needles right now. We're an hour and change away from Game 3 with the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice, at least a gentleman's sweep. It would be nice. I get the money line at plus 135. So I would like a regular sweep. It's nice to have a team that's not like the Bruins that like breaks your heart every year and can get the job done.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened earlier, but we had Doug Mankiewicz on talking about getting the that ball in 2004 with the Red Sox. Of course, he played at Florida State and he previewed the College World Series coming up this weekend. Do you play any College World Series? Do you do that?
No, I don't have the time. Like, I just don't. Like, you know how it is, man. You can't spread yourself too thin and take your focus off your main thing, and then you end up just losing money. So,
is it worth the risk to play Scotty Scheffler at 3-1? I mean, do you lay $100 to win $300?
No, I mean, so this is the big talk in like the golf gambling community all week. It's like, listen, it's just so frustrating. I mean, the casuals are happy with it 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. I get it. You know what I mean? Like that's a couple team parlay on a Sunday for NFL better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Golf has so much variance. It's like he can't keep getting away with this, right? But he keeps getting away with it. Yeah, I mean, look, his U.S. Open, this course was made for him, right? He's patient. He's great around the green. He's got good hands. Like his putting's good again. It's like it's crazy to bet against them, but I'll be doing it again this week. I won't be betting Scotty Scheffler.
You know, and plus 300 NFL is a totally different world. In an individual sport, we know that the chances of winning are so much more difficult. The lines are different when you talk about a parlay or whatever because you're talking about one team that has to win. But I just don't think it's worth the stress to want a guy like that to win with such a little amount of return that is coming back. So before we get to your plays, I'm interested the greens aren't holding, and they're complaining about it, and they've been complaining about it all week long. So I know with your study and your data and everything that you have, how do you measure who gets the golf ball to stick close to the pin placement Thursday through Sunday?
So you kind of go back to like a little old school stuff, right? Take a look at who hits the ball high, who has a high apex, right? Who's going to be able to bring that coming down soft, right? I mean, you see, if you've watched the videos, I mean, these guys are going to be putting with 3 wood. You know, some guys will chip, but you're not holding these greens. Like, you're just not. Like, it's just like that. I think the over/under for greens on like certain underdog plays and things like that are like 9, 10. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a tough one. It should be fun. I mean, so you don't like Rory's got high apex, Brooks, Scotty, so guys like that. You want a guy who hits it high, so it comes in soft.
So greens in regulation is a big play this week.
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? So usually with U.S. Opens, except last year, right?
Oh yeah, last year, 20 under and what? 4 guys at 19 under.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So, it's a bit like you always want to take the unders because everybody likes to bet overs. Casuals come in, they're going to bet over, right? So underscore, you know what I mean? I think the number was -6, so under -6, maybe. But the only thing that scares me about that is that it only takes one golfer to get hot. I mean, look what Keimer did. Everybody else stunk up the room, and Keimer boat raced everybody. Mm-hmm. So that can happen. So I kind of stay away from that one. But any of the unders, as far as like fairways hit, or over under bogeys, take the over on the bogeys, under on the birdies. Just some play on a tough course and a tough setup. U.S. Open isn't going to cave to these guys. They wanted to play tough, especially after last year.
Handicapping the United States Open at Pinehurst, number 2, 7,548 yards, a par 70. Of course, last year Wyndham Clark was your winner at 20 under. All right, before we get into some personnel, 12 LIV members now that John Rahm is out. PGA Tour, they've won the last 5 majors. Does that come into play, whether you're talking about a foreign player compared to someone from right here in the United States of America? You doing anything along those lines?
Yeah, so I mean, it's the tough thing with LIV is it's tough to really gather anything from it. It's really just eyeball test, right? And so Brooks is doing his thing, right? Shot awesome on Sunday, teasing everybody. I mean, what I'm really looking at here is who can take down Scotty Scheffler, right? Who isn't afraid of Scotty? Who can go toe-to-toe with him? Who can actually take him down? I think that's a very, very short list. Colin Morikawa is not on that list. He's been in the final groupings with him, and he cannot take him down, right? I think Xander winning 2 majors in a row, not going to happen. So I'm looking at guys like on the top of the board, right? Like Ludwig, knee injury a little bit, but he's young and dumb and doesn't have the scar tissue, right? So he doesn't know what he doesn't know yet, right? And then Brooks Koepka and Bryson both. I like both of those guys this week. I love Brooks. Brooks definitely has the mentality to be able to take down Scotty. He's not afraid of Scotty, and he's trying to get his 6. I really love Brooks this week.
Okay, a quick comment here on Ludwig Oberg. He played in 2019 at Pinehurst 2 as an amateur at Texas Tech and made it to the round of 32. But correct me if I'm wrong. This is his first United States Open.
Correct.
Can you pick a guy? I mean, he was second at the Masters, and then what? He didn't even make the PGA Championship. He was cut on Friday night.
It's his knee. So the thing that stinks about betting on golf, right, which is different than any other sport, we don't get injury reports, right? We don't know until it's too late. So somebody asked him about his knee at a press conference. He said, it's between me and my doctor. I'm like, come on, man. Like, we put real money on you. You know what I mean? Like, come on, give us something. Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's playing another team like that's going to use that injury. It's just his. Like, he's playing against other guys. It doesn't matter. It's a non-contact sport.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, look, he's just such a stud that, like, I think if any young kid can do it, it would be him.
You can't pick Rory. He's staying married. I mean, there's no way he's going to win.
That's right. Yeah, what a wild couple weeks for Rory.
Yeah.
I know a couple of sharp guys who like him. He's just not for me. I don't see it. Everybody is being a little quiet about him, but his driver has been loose the last three tournaments, and he has to gain off the tee, and especially now. Look, the fairways are huge, but if you miss, you get in that wispy grass, you have no idea what you're going to get. And when he misses big. So I'm taking a pass on him.
All right. So let us know. You just hinted a little bit, but tell us what you really like over the next 4 days here at Pinehurst number 2.
Yeah. So I love Brooks. He's got the mentality and the game to do it. But now listen, I'm a Brooks sucker. I love him. I think he's a killer amongst like a bunch of guys who can't win, right? So I like the mentality he has, and I like what I saw on Sunday down in Houston. I like Hideki as well. That number got steamed, and he's probably the most tipped guy in the golf gambling community. So probably back away from that at this point. He was out there at like 70, 60 to 1. He's steamed all the way down to 40. But I still like him. His around the green game is great. The only thing that worries me about that, he's only played like 3 or 4 times since the Masters. So some young guys for some top 20s like Sahith. He's a fire hose off the box, but he's another young stud, right? So he's fun to bet on. Top 10 on him can get you better than what you get on Scotty. You're getting 5 to 1 for a top 10 on Sahith. I like Wyndham Clark. Look, he's been playing bad, but the guy is the defending champ, and he hits the ball a country mile. And when he gets going with his putter, he can get it. He's got good odds for a top 20 as well. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing more placements because I'm terrified of Scotty. so some top 10, top 5, top 20. So. And look, you can get some good squeeze, right? So you can get 4 to 1 or 3 to 1 on Keegan Bradley, right? He had a horrible Saturday and Sunday, but he fits this course, right? And he can get it going. And I think 3 to 1 is a fabulous price for him. Sepp Straka has been playing incredible golf right now, and you can get 3 to 1 on him for a top 20. And look, it's the U.S. Open. Everybody can eject quickly, and this can be a very difficult course, and no bet is safe until the end of the day on Sunday. But you have some fun with the placements, take some long shots, because losers are going to be in the top 20, right? They're not going to take down the tournament, but guys who you never thought would be there will be there. Like Aaron Rai, 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Even Adrian Moronk, right? He's been playing well, 5 to 1. And Cam Davis, he's 6.5, 7 to 1. The guy shows up in tough courses, hits the ball a mile. He's an Aussie, so he's good. I feel like he's going to have a really good showing. At 6.5 to 1 for a top 20 is a fun, nice bet to have.
You going to Carolina?
No, I am not. I am. My wife. I've been to the PGA, the Masters, a couple Bruins games. So my wife has grounded me for sports flying for a little while.
Can you believe you had an entire conversation and we did not even mention Tiger Woods?
Yeah, it's because it's like I said last time, right? I don't like to be the guy who's going to bet against Tiger. I want to root against Tiger. None of the odds are good because the books are criminals and they know they're going to get Tiger money regardless, so they hang terrible odds. So I never get in on any Tiger action because they know better to match him up with anybody too, where it would be easy to take the other side. So yeah, I'm out on Tiger. I know Hard Rock's doing a bunch of boosts for top 30s and top 40s. I just don't see it. I think the only place he's ever going to be competitive again is going to be the Masters, and that's just because we've seen guys, older guys, be able to compete there because of the knowledge of the course.
I like him this weekend because his 15-year-old son in there, Charlie, is his swing coach, is really gonna is really gonna aid the time. Yeah, that's what we'll say. All right, Boston Capper, give us your info so our golf listeners out there can get everything from you.
Yeah, so easy follow, Boston_Capper on Twitter. It's the podcast, the Golf Gambling Podcast. We do a recap and preview, course preview on Sunday night. We do Google Earth and take you hole by hole, so you can kind of see what kind of golfers are going to fit that course. Monday, one of my partners does the DFS show, and then me and Steve do the big betting show on Tuesday.
The Boston Capper, ladies and gentlemen, part of the 210 Mafia. It's been a little while since we've been out playing some golf. It's time
I
to go
know,
out and sweat.
man. Yeah, absolutely. I'll text you.
All right, bud. Take care. Best of luck in all your
Later.
plays. There he goes, the Boston Capper. And 3 to 1 with Scotty. It's amazing because a 3 to 1 in football or baseball or hockey or basketball. I mean, it's like that's cheap, but in golf,
well, there's only 2 teams that can win in this sport.
Exactly.
Not 166.
Exactly, but it does. I mean, it's plus 300 to him. Then it goes to 1,100 for Rory and 1,000 or 1,100 for Xander. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about this. Let's get caught up. We did overdo it a little bit when we had Doug Mankiewicz on earlier in the program. We have much more to do, though. Ballou and LaSelva with you tonight till 8 o'clock. Then Hacker Nation will join you. There's a new one-stop shop for all things Florida State. Subscribe to 1010XL Seminoles YouTube channel, up-to-the-minute updates, analysis, and more. Plant the spear and subscribe to 1010XL Seminoles channel today.
This Saturday's biggest and hardest-hitting game isn't downtown. It's at UNF when the ratified credit union Jacksonville Axemen take on the Santa Rosa Dead Pelicans in the USA Rugby League National Championship. Tickets start at $10 and kids under 13 are free. Come support your local players and help the Axemen to another national title this Saturday night. Kickoff at 6:30. For tickets and game information, visit jacksaxe.com.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners, Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy, higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss Premier League clubs, Wolves and West Ham in Jacksonville for the Stateside Cup, July 27th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets as low as $35 at statesidecup.com.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
A tomahawk steak is more than a meal, it's an experience. Dads, we've got you covered at Southern Steer Butcher. Now through Father's Day, get your tomahawk steaks for $24.99 a pound.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
I-9 Sports is fired up for their summer flag football tournament series, so make sure your team is part of the action. It's all happening in June and July at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows at their brand new turf facility. Register as a team and join the fun at i9sports.com.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to bring your friends out and enjoy our spectacular golf course, which is carved out of some of the highest elevations in North Florida. Hidden Hills Golf Club, unlike any other. Check us out, hiddenhillsgc.com.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I was reading today that I think it was 52 years ago, maybe wrong on the exact year, but today was the date that Doc Ellis threw a no-hitter on acid, which is just one of the greatest stories in the history of Major League Baseball.
And he tells the story, like, you can find it on YouTube, of him describing the entire day. He didn't realize he had to pitch that day, and so he got high, and his girlfriend's like, you got a game to go to. And he's like, what? Yeah. And, there was a lot of walks. So not exactly a perfect outing, but hilarious story.
The other one is Pascal Perez missing a start at Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, and he was a pitcher for the Braves because he couldn't find the ballpark.
Did he just get signed or something?
No, he had been around for a little bit. But that actually happened to me last summer in the heat. I couldn't find Jack's Golf and Country, and I was just like, I had to pull over, and I had to get fluids in me and a cold towel. After day, remember how hot it was in August last year?
Yes.
Okay, and so it has happened to us at least. But I was a little bit older than Pascual Perez in his heyday. All right, let's get to our picks. And I almost feel like we know who the first three picks are going to be. It's just you're the champion. You had Shoffley.
I did.
And
we're 3 for 3 this year in picking a winner. I know it doesn't sound that difficult, but we picked Scotty to win the Players. One of us, I believe it was you.
It was.
And then I picked Scotty to win the Masters. And then we just had Xander. I picked Xander.
So you've won 2 in a row.
I have.
All right.
I mean,
and I went first.
Us picking Scotty, I feel like it's a half a win, but whatever.
All right, let's get it going. You're up first because I went first at
Correct.
the PGA Championship, so it's your turn.
I'm going to go with Scotty. I don't think he will win, but I'd be dumb not to take him.
And I have to pick Shoffley. I mean, there's just no way around it. He proved it. He was able to, stand through the pressure of 72 holes of the PGA Championship, and it kind of felt like the crowd there wanted Bryson DeChambeau to win it, and Shoffley did, so I will take him.
So I have 3 names I'm thinking of. Bryson, Rory, and Victor Hovland.
Mm-hmm.
And Rory has finished in the top 5 straight years in this tournament, okay? So that really is calling my name, but I don't know. Something about the way Bryson's been playing. He's only has 1 major win. It was at the U.S. Open. He has 2 top 10s in the 2 majors this year. I'm going to go with Live Zone Bryson DeChambeau.
All right, Bryson in the second round. I am going to go with Victor Hovland. I think he's still steaming about missing that putt on the 72nd hole last month at the PGA Championship. So give me a guy who's yet to win a major, Victor Hovland, in the third round.
Then I'll go Rory. Like I said, 5 straight top 5 finishes in the U.S. Open. I am worried after Boston Capper said his driver's been everywhere, but I'm going to go with Rory.
So now you are going to have to root for Rory McIlroy over the next 4 days.
I hate it.
I'm thinking a lot about Oberg, but he's injured, and it's his first time in a major there. Again, he did play in 2019 at Texas Tech. He made it to the round of 32 with the Red Raiders, but I pick Koepka every year, and it didn't work out
He hasn't looked too hot this year.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a two-time champion in Colin Morikawa.
Smart. All right, so now we do our sleeper pick. And he was awesome last time. I'm going to go with my favorite, Tom Kim.
Okay, Tom Kim.
I think he's probably like 50 to 1.
All right, let me see here. Tommy Fleetwood yet to win a major, yet to win on American soil. Max Homa would be fun. He's 50, 55. Finau, I can't watch Cantlay. Can anyone watch Cantlay? Wyndham Clark, last year's champion. My goodness, man, I'm seeing 70s and 80s to 1.
Wow.
To win it.
Wow, that's how bad he's playing.
Huge numbers, no doubt about that. I tell you, I'll stay with the hot hand. I see plus 80s and plus 90s, 80 to 1, 90 to 1. I'll go with Sepp Straka.
Nice.
After what he did this past week at the Memorial, he is certainly playing some pretty good golf.
My boy Tom Kim is 100 to 1. Wow. And I'll tell you a guy to look out for real fast who's also 100 to 1. Robert McIntyre. He's like a fat Scottish dude who's lefty, and he's been playing lights out, man. Watch out for that dude.
I don't even see Tiger Woods on here.
That's so sad.
Yeah. I mean, Sergio's plus 150.
So Tiger's plus...
Ricky Fowler's plus 200.
300 to 1 odds. Holy crap.
How about that?
Tiger Woods is 300 to 1 to win the U.S. Open.
Well, I got Vegas Insider where they have like, I think 7 different books. I see his lowest.
Like an aggregate?
Yeah, I see his lowest. No, it's 7 different books. They have 7 different odds.
Gotcha.
His lowest is 250. His highest is 400. He's going to get some people are going to dump some money on
Why
him.
not?
Yeah.
Put $10 on that.
You know, that's no risk. And it's a pretty pricey reward if it was to happen. All right, so JJ goes Scheffler in the first round. I'm taking Schauffele. JJ taking Bryson. I'm taking Victor Hovland. Third round, JJ taking Rory. If you have not heard, the divorce is off. He is staying with his wife. I am taking Colin Morikawa. And then our long shots, if you will, at least 50 to 1 or greater, is Tom Kim for JJ, and I'm going to take Sepp Straka. So there you go. For what it's worth, the last 5 winners of a major have all been from right here in the United States of America, right? Schauffele, Scheffler, Brian Harmon, the defending champion, and Wyndham Clark, who won last year at 20 under during the United States Open, and Brooks Koepka. You got to go back to 83-84 when it was Larry Nelson, Tom Watson, Hal Sutton, Ben Crenshaw, and Fuzzy Zeller. I do not know if there has ever been 6 in a row. I imagine there has, but this particular nugget that I got did not tell us if, in fact, that is the case.
I guess it would be 6 separate golfers because, you know, Scheffler won – or no, who won the Masters? Oh, John Rahm, sorry.
Yep.
I was wrong about that. That was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
John Rahm ain't winning anything anytime soon.
No, he's out. 12 live golfers. Rahm is out with the toe problem, or between the toes, the pinky toe and the other toe. And he's not going to give it a go. So we'll see. Enjoy it. I mean, for sports fans right now, you've got to be just loving this. And I can't express how I feel for you people who are just football only. I mean, tonight you got the NBA Game 3. Tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, you got the United States Open. Tomorrow night you got Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. The U.S. Open continues. Then Friday night, you have 2 games in the College World Series, including Florida State and Tennessee. They'll play at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday night, you have more in the College World Series, 2 more games, including the Gators taking on the Aggies at 7 o'clock on Saturday. We'll have that game for you right here. I mean, you've got it all, not even to mention Major League Baseball, which is certainly heating up as well. So enjoy yourself. Football will be here before you know it, all right? Training camp is next for your Jags. That'll be in the latter part of July. Be here before you know it. All right, let me come back. Let's put our final touches on the Wednesday edition. Tomorrow's going to be a blast. We're going to talk some golf with my buddy Rick Shoemaker from Cimarron. Some other things planned. Hoping to hear. I haven't heard back from one guy that I'm hoping that we'll be able to put him on and and talk some Jaguars as well. So it's going to be a great rest of the week. No questions about it. You want to get on in? 641-1010 on the text line. That's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Mia here, and I've got 2 words for you. Incredible inventory. And it's all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. I'm talking over 600 vehicles in stock, one location. That's over 275 SUVs, over 200 cars, over 110 pickups. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18K. Plus, now you get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it. And help from Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. Shop 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or arlingtontoyota.com.
This is the sound of turning small bets into legendary wins. Only on the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app. The sound of parlays. The sound of paydays. The sound of watching the game will never be the same. Hard Rock Bet has already paid out millions and millions in parlays to people across Florida. Download Hard Rock Bet now, and if your first bet doesn't win, get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Imagine the perfect outdoor living space. A beautiful stone kitchen, waterfall, fire pit, pergola, stone walkway. Now there's one place to bring all of your design ideas to life. The Art of Natural Stone on Beach Boulevard and also by Bartram Springs.
Maybe you've got plumbing problems, like toilets that won't flush, or there's not enough pressure, or you get clogs and stoppage too often.
Ew!
There's several potential causes, and some can't be detected easily. So before it becomes a disaster, call Roland Reich Plumbing. They can send a special video camera down through the lines, since they don't have a small little man, to find the root of the problem, which could be tree roots. Don't guess. Hire Roland Reich Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
I've known Glenn Cohen for a long time as a friend and a lawyer. Persistent and fair, Glenn and his firm have represented clients from North Florida and South Georgia for over 40 years in all kinds of personal injury cases. If I had such a case, call Glenn at Barnes, Cohen, and Sullivan.
Now those sound like some well-oiled machines. B&B Oil and Fuel works hard at being the most responsive, fast-moving, service-driven distributor of oil and fuels in our market. Time is money. You need fuel and lubricants to keep your business moving. You also need a partner who can move as fast as you do. We pride ourselves on our responsiveness to both the normal day-to-day and any emergency need that may come up. Only the best with B&B Oil and Fuel. Online at bb-oil.com.
Your Jaguars game day, your way. Whether you want to see a division rival like the Titans, an NFC North opponent like the Packers, or a mix, deciding on your favorite matchups has never been easier with Bundle at the Bank.
Touchdown, Travis Etienne!
Get tickets to 3 or more games starting at just $58 per game. It's as easy as pick, pay, and play. But seats are selling fast, so visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
All right, guys, be a true grill master with the Sausage Dudes sausage and upgrade that cookout. The Sausage Dudes are guys from Jacksonville who use their family recipes to make better sausage with the best cuts of pork, carefully sourced spices, and natural casings. And the Sausage Dudes are mission-minded, supporting the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida. Try all 4 flavors because your cookout deserves better. Now available at all Publix stores in the frozen meat section. Head to Publix today and get your hands on the Sausage Dudes sausage.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero-Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero-Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zerorez. Still looking for the perfect Father's Day gift? Check out Macy's Gift Finder. It's easy. In just a couple clicks, you'll find personalized gift ideas from top brands that are perfect for every dad, like the Adventure Seeker, the Sports Fan, or even the Grandpa. Plus, Macy's has great gifts for every budget, so you can go as big or small as you want. Find the Father's Day gift that says, I love your style on Macy's.com/giftfinder and give love today at Macy's.
Men suffering from ED or PE, see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call 904-664-8217, 904-664-8217.
Hey, David here with Royal Pest Services. Men, are you struggling in the bedroom? Do spiders and roaches have you scared? Visit RoyalPestServices.com and let us help you get that man card back. Guaranteed results on our first visit.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, what a day. Yeah, no question about it. So much happening in the world of sports. Really enjoyed the conversation earlier with Doug Mankiewicz. If you missed it, you can get it on demand on our website. But just really went deep into, what it has been like for him. I mean, the guy won in high school, won a state title. He won an Olympic gold medal. He was in Boston where they went 86 years and all those near misses and caught that baseball from Keith Falk to win the World Series. He was on some phenomenal Florida State baseball teams, okay? Before I came over here in 96, that 95 team was just as good as they've ever had over there. And yeah, I was lucky enough, as I say often, when I was doing radio in Tallahassee, I would do the Florida State away baseball games with the late Lee Bowen, who passed way too early. He passed when I was in Chicago. And I would only go to I would go to Florida, I go to Miami, I would go to Georgia Tech. I remember going to Clemson, and Clemson would always have a Saturday, Sunday, Monday series. But he said he'd give it all, or give so much of it away for Florida State to win a World Series. And certainly if he could have gotten one for Mike Martin. Hunter Scantling just texted in and said the same thing, agreeing with Doug Mankiewicz. So some really good stuff that was said. And again, you can get that on demand. Thank you to Doug Mankiewicz. Thank you to John Osher. Thank you to the Boston Capper. Thank you to you. Tomorrow night, what a day it's going to be. Reaction to the NBA Game 3, reaction to the United States Open, and we'll get you even closer to Game 3 in the NBA Finals and the College World Series. I should say the NHL Stanley Cup Final coming up tomorrow night. That'll do it. Packers up next. Thank you to J.J. LaSalva. I'm Rick Ballou. Have a great night.